Welcome to the virtual accepted student reception, everybody. We're excited to have you here. I see that people are still joining. Let's give everybody just a minute to get situated. Numbers are still going up real quick, and we'll get started in just a minute. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining us for our accepted student reception. My name's Steve Keller, and I'm the Director of Admission here at Gonzaga. I'm joined by a few of my colleagues from our admission and financial aid offices, and we'll be joined by some current students as well later on in the webinar. I'll introduce them in a bit, but as people continue to join the webinar, we'd love to get to know you. Let's start with what part of the US or world you're joining us from. Please feel free to type that in the chat and see if there are other future Zags who are joining from a similar state or country. All right, where are people coming from? Okay, I'm seeing some raised hands. All right, coming from all over. People coming from all over the country. That's amazing. Thank you for joining us on this busy day. Well, good evening to everybody, and welcome to our virtual accepted student reception for Gonzaga University. Thank you for joining us from all over the US and the world. My name is Steve Keller, and I'm the Director of Admission here at GU and one of your hosts for this evening. You may have noticed that we're also recording the webinar for those who were unable to attend or for you to view again. It will be posted in our YouTube channel and website. We would love to answer your questions though, so throughout the presentation, please type your questions into the Q&A function, and we will have colleagues answer them throughout the Q&A or bring them to our attention to answer them. I want to stress the fact that we will only be answering questions through the Q&A and not the chat. We'll get through as many questions as we're able to tonight before the end. Joining me today are several of my colleagues in admission and financial aid, as well as some of our current students. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves to the group. Sarah, Lindsay, Will, Kelly, would you be able to introduce yourselves briefly?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Sarah Welchel and I work as an admission counselor here at Gonzaga. I'm going to be presenting along with Steve tonight. I primarily support students that are in California and Southeast Washington, but you'll find me floating all over the place. And I'll go ahead and pass it to Lindsay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. My name is Lindsay Spencer, she, her, hers. I'm the transfer admission counselor with our team. I work primarily with transfer students, but I'm often working with first-year students as well. Super excited you're here today. I will be moderating our student panel later in this webinar, so I'll introduce you to students in a little bit, but really glad you can be here. I'll go ahead and pass to Will.
Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. My name is Will Shoup. I'm an admission counselor here at Gonzaga. I work mostly with students from Montana, Idaho, and Alaska, as well as a lot of the Great Plains states. We're so glad you're here with us today, and congratulations to you all. I'll be in the Q&A, so I'll be doing my best to answer your questions. Hope you enjoy.
Hey everyone, I am Kelly Wins, the Director of Financial Aid here at Gonzaga. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm here to give just a little bit of information regarding student financial services and to help Will and everyone else answer your questions related to financial aid.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Before we get into the presentation, let me say congratulations to all of our admitted students. You're a remarkable group of scholars from all over the US, and quite a few countries around the world. The students have an average unweighted GPA of a 3.74 and are multi-talented with experiences in art, music, athletics, writing, dance, scouts, debate, theater, robotics, part-time work, serving their communities, and so much more. I don't know how you have enough time to do everything that you do. Founded in 1887, Gonzaga is a private liberal arts Catholic university in the Jesuit tradition. Jesuit education is world-renowned for providing holistic development, mind, body, and spirit. Gonzaga promises 4 key outcomes in our Jesuit education. First, academic excellence. Second, the development of contemplatives in action. Third, ethical leaders. And fourth, people who are for and with others. You'll notice throughout the presentation, this development comes from both academics and student affairs. As a starting point, the core curriculum is an essential foundation for delivering holistic education, as all students take courses in composition, literature, speech, philosophy, religious studies, math, science, and social justice. This core develops skills in critical thinking, writing, and public speaking, while also helping students better understand the world and how to make a difference within it.
If you have yet to visit, we are located in Spokane, Washington, which is the second largest city in the state with just over 700,000 people in the larger metro area. Campus itself is 154 acres across the Spokane River, which is across the water from the downtown city center. It's about a half-mile walking or driving distance. In the city, we do have a vibrant scene that includes great restaurants, coffee places, shopping, concerts, minor league sports, nightlife, and also great theater options. There's a lot of support for the Zags, and Spokane is also a great place to access internships and jobs while in college. With 4 distinct seasons, there is a lot of variety and activities that you can do throughout the year. So all around us are amazing outdoor recreation opportunities with hiking and mountain biking just minutes from campus, and 5 different ski resorts within a 2-hour drive of Gonzaga. Furthermore, the Spokane International Airport is about a 15-minute drive from campus, and your Gonzaga ID also doubles as a bus pass for Spokane Transit Authority.
Let's dive deeper into academics. We're a medium-sized university with about 5,000 undergraduate students. We challenge students, but with a lot of support. With the average class size of 22 and a student-to-faculty ratio of 12-1, we are able to offer personal attention in the classroom. In fact, Gonzaga faculty are ranked number 12th for best undergraduate teaching nationally. In addition, the university is ranked in the top 100 colleges and universities nationwide. We have happy students with a 93% continuing retention rate at GU after their first year. This is one of the strongest retention rates in higher education.
So there are 5 schools and an undergraduate student can study under, and they offer over 80 academic programs. Going in alphabetical order, the first school students can study under is the College of Arts and Sciences. This covers everything from applied mathematics to writing, and it is our largest school. Jesuits believe in learning by doing, and you will find that tradition is alive and well at Gonzaga. In the College of Arts and Sciences, there are vast opportunities to do research in the sciences and social sciences. Students in integrated media have their own TV station, podcast channel, and newspaper, and there are multiple literary magazines. For students studying music, dance, and theater, the Myrtle Woolson Performing Arts Center is your state-of-the-art performance space. Please note that any Gonzaga student, regardless of major, can be involved in the performing arts. So even if you're not studying it as a major or minor, it is an option. Uniquely, we do also have a partnership with the University of Washington to deliver medical school in our region. with Gonzaga delivering the coursework and UW managing clinical placements. This helps provide a rich environment for the health sciences on campus with research, mentoring programs, and professors who work with undergraduate students and medical students. The Medical Health Education and Innovation Center opened in the summer of 2022, and it is a 90,000 square foot building and home to the UW School of Medicine Gonzaga University Health Partnership. The next school is the School of Business Administration. They are ranked 20th nationally with a top 4% accounting program. There are 2 tracks in this school, including business administration and accounting, and both also offer 5th-year master's programs. A student in business administration gets a broad business background while tailoring their degree by studying one of 10 concentrations in their interests. There's time to study more than one concentration as well if that's of interest. There are also 8 minors available to students majoring in programs in other schools. So, for example, a theater major may also minor in, say, digital marketing. The next school is the School of Education. So we offer majors in special education, kinesiology, and physical education, also in sport management, community culture language, and credential programs for elementary and secondary education. Students have placement fields all 4 years in various schools and classrooms. This allows them to apply and practice theory that they've learned at Gonzaga. Sport management students are required to complete 2 internships before they graduate, which provides a great experience both in school and in professional athletics. The 4th school is the School of Engineering and Applied Science. They are a top 6% school for programs with a master's at the highest degree available. We offer computer science, data science, and civil, computer, electrical, biomedical, and mechanical engineering, as well as engineering management, which is a combination of engineering and business. This also includes the option to proceed to a 5th-year Master of Business Administration. All of the programs are hands-on with design projects and opportunities for research. The state-of-the-art John and Joan Belier Family Center for Integrated Science and Engineering allows for more collaborative research and projects between the sciences and engineering and computer science. The final school is that of health sciences. Our program in public health provides our students with skills in communication, writing, research, and project management. The nursing program at Gonzaga is direct admission, and students apply as seniors in high school. Healthcare is the #1 industry in Spokane, and students do 6 rotations of clinical placements in junior and senior years, working one-on-one with nurses. Our students have had great success marked by a 94% first-time pass rate of the NCLEX last year. Human physiology is also a deep dive into one organism being the human body. So the focus is on anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, and students are required to do research projects alongside that. The major is great on its own, and it's also an extremely popular choice for students who are interested on a pre-med or physical therapy track. We also have recently opened an institute for informatics and applied technology. This new institute will open more opportunities for hands-on learning in our lab sciences and further specialization in our STEM programs of study.
A special feature of a Gonzaga education is the ability to study abroad. We are ranked number 11 nationally for percentage of students who study abroad. The majority of students go during junior year, but some go in spring of sophomore year. Our flagship program is our campus in Florence, Italy, but we offer over 60 programs in over 40 countries. Gonzaga-sponsored programs feature the same tuition as Gonzaga in Spokane, and the financial aid follows students abroad during the academic school year. Uniquely, student life at Gonzaga greatly contributes to the holistic educational experience. The next section of this presentation will further describe student life and development. Let's start with the residential experience. Gonzaga is well known for having a vibrant, caring, friendly community that turns into a second home. With 82% of students coming from over 200 miles away, 49% come from out of state, and over 40 countries are represented in the student body. The requirement is to live in Gonzaga housing the first 2 years, and that's really important. There is intentional community development in residence life through programming and activities. We also offer living learning communities, which provide students the opportunity to live with people who have similar interests and goals. For example, outdoor pursuits for students interested in outdoor recreation, or Learns to Lead for students interested in leadership development. The LLCs, except for the transfer experience community, require a separate application, and the deadlines to submit those applications are June 1st. For detailed information about each one, go to gonzaga.edu/LLC.
This right here is the Hemmingson Center, and it's designed for community development and engagement with a lot of space for hanging out and studying. There is also a variety of dining options from the COG, our all-you-can-eat dining hall, to the Bulldog Restaurant and even a Starbucks. This building allows student involvement and leadership, weekend social events, dining, faith development, global engagement, and more, all to be under one roof.
While we provide great challenge in our academics, we do so really with a lot of support. The safety and well-being of Zags is very important. Physical safety is maintained by campus security and a proactive emergency system called Zag Alert. Students also have access to a safety app on their phone and a health center for physical and mental health, with physicians, nurses, psychiatrists, and counselors available. Gonzaga offers extensive programming outside of the classroom for holistic development, as well as support for academics, faith development, health, identity, the transition into college, and more. An important area of support to highlight is that of diversity, inclusion, community, and equity. The Unity Multicultural Education Center and the Lincoln LGBTQ+ Center offer educational programming, mentoring, support for students from historically underrepresented backgrounds, and a place of community and celebration. We have multiple multicultural clubs that help students come together in shared culture. Some of the special events coordinated by the clubs are the International Student Union and Black Student Union dinners, the Hawaii Pacific Islander Club Luau, which is my favorite, and the Latin American Students Festival.
The academic excellence, development of leadership, ethics, critical thinking, and being people for others translates into great preparation for the future. The First Destination survey conducted by Career and Professional Development reported a 95% success rate average for the classes of 2021 through 2023, meaning that they were employed in graduate school or both, or in a long-term service program like the Peace Corps within 6 months of graduating from Gonzaga. CPD also coordinates a lot of programming to help students prepare for life after Gonzaga. So these may include employment fairs on campus, mentoring programs with Gonzaga alumni, help with resume and cover letter writing, and more. Unique programs offered are also our treks, and these are excursions to various cities to meet with alumni at their workplace, attend networking events and employment fairs, and learn about more specific fields of work. We have treks currently in Seattle, Portland, the Bay Area / Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, Denver, Spokane, New York, and then also one international trek that's in London. What is extra exciting is that this fantastic holistic education is at a school with tremendous school spirit. So the success of our men and women's basketball programs definitely created a foundation for school spirit, but we do get excited about every single win that happens on campus. Many people say go Zags in passing or sign their email with go Zags. I know I do that frequently throughout the day. And if you like Gonzaga basketball and you would like to have seats closer to the floor while also having your face displayed on ESPN, being a student is really the best way to do that, as tickets are free for all of our students. Our students are not just spectators, though. Many of them also love to play intramurals like volleyball or even inter tube basketball. We have club sports, which is where you still get to travel as well. Students also run on the 37-mile Centennial Trail that's on the south side of campus and enjoy other activities and working out at our fitness center to stay healthy. One of the main goals of students is to actually earn an intramural championship t-shirt by the time they graduate.
So Gonzaga has been considered a top value in higher education for many years due to the funding offered combined with the quality of the education. We encourage you to apply for financial aid, especially if cost is a factor in your college decision. If you've filed the FAFSA, just know you should be receiving a financial aid offer by the middle of March. I did notice there was a question in the Q&A about seeing that financial aid offer available online. Just so you know that once those are mailed out, after that, we send you a notification via email letting you know that it's available to view online as well. So you will receive it in the mail first, but will be followed up with an online version. The aid from Gonzaga, both scholarship and grant funding, is guaranteed until the student finishes their undergraduate studies. Students are required to maintain good academic standing with the university, which is a cumulative 2.0 GPA. And one thing to note about the financial aid process is that the FAFSA uses what we call prior year information. So what that means is that we are currently looking at 2023 tax filing data. So if you've had changes to your financial situation since then, such as a loss of a job or fluctuating income, we recommend filing a special conditions appeal form. Also, if there are younger students in your family in a K through 12 private school, or if you have other students in the family that are in college, that's another reason that you're going to want to complete that appeal form process. Last year, the Gonzaga student body brought in over $2 million in outside scholarship funding. We recommend applying for those outside scholarships, and one of the best places that you can actually look for those are within your own community. Our office is happy to answer any questions on that as you're going through the process if you have any as they come up. And then finally, we encourage students to take on a work study position while in college. Our students work roughly anywhere from 10 to 15 hours per week. There are many benefits to working, and it's also really nice for students to have connections with university staff. So for example, we may know when your student is sick, we can refer students to resources they may not know are available, and it gives us an opportunity to celebrate them with their birthdays and other milestones that they have here while on campus. Our office is happy to answer any questions you have along the way, so don't hesitate to reach out.
You received in your acceptance packet a checklist, and it does look like the document that's on this screen. This is what will guide you until you make a college decision. A lot of information and resources are also available at gonzaga.edu/accepted. To connect with fellow accepted students, we strongly encourage joining ZME, and that's a private app where you can chat with each other and also some current Zags as well. In the meantime, check your email and regularly check your spam and junk because it can go multiple places. Students may also fill out the housing application and apply to living learning communities before committing to Gonzaga. The application is in your application portal, the same place where you found your electronic admission decision. If you choose Gonzaga, the Office of Academic Advising and Assistance will register you for your first semester of classes. First-year students fill out an academic interest survey, and academic advising will build schedules over the summer. The academic interest survey will be available starting in April as students confirm their enrollment. Final schedules are released in early August. For students who will have credit from AP or IB exams and/or college credit from programs like Running Start or dual enrollment, those credits will be added to your account over the summer, just in time for registration to be finalized. Please be sure to have scores and college transcripts sent to Gonzaga. Transfer students will also be asked to submit the academic interest survey, and schedules are available within a couple weeks of the survey submission. Finally, mark your calendar for new student orientation. Summer sessions run through the month of July with many two-day sessions that you have the option to choose from. Keep an eye on your ZAG mail for registration information. Early deposits will be able to register beginning in March. Registration for new student orientation becomes available as you confirm your enrollment at GU. We also offer a few extended orientation programs. Goob allows students to have an outdoor adventure together while building community. Bridge is a fantastic program for BIPOC and first generation college students to build community and get situated in college before classes actually start. Bridge does also include a year-long student mentoring program, and then Embark is a first-year retreat, which is intended to help students come together in faith-based reflection and community.
A great way to stay connected to and learn more about the Gonzaga community is through visiting campus and hearing from students and faculty. Our best program for accepted students is Gonzaga Experience Live, GEL. It's on April 12th this year. It's a treasured Gonzaga tradition. The day includes an academic fair, sample classes, campus tours, club and activity fairs, fun evening activities with current Zags, and a separate parent and guardian program. For more details and to register, go to gonzaga.edu/GEL, GEL. If you can't visit for GEL on April 12th, please know that we have daily visits and preview days throughout the spring. We would love to see you on campus on the day that's most convenient for you. You can take a campus tour, attend an information session, meet with faculty, and even attend a class if you want. All campus visit information can be found at gonzaga.edu/visit. We also offer a variety of virtual opportunities like this to experience life at Gonzaga. You can meet with faculty or staff over Zoom or hear from our admission counselors in weekly information sessions. In the coming weeks, we also have in-depth virtual programs, such as the webinars on this slide. To register for any of these options, go to gonzaga.edu/zagvisit. Well, thanks so much for your attention, and we're so excited that you're all considering being a ZAG. Lindsay, are there any questions that we should address before we go into the student panel?
Thanks for checking, Steve. Right now, it looks like we're good. Students, you've been asking some really great questions. You're welcome to review those answers. But yes, we're going to move right into our student panel. So this is a chance for our attendees today to ask our current students questions about the experience at Gonzaga, learn more about their majors and programs. So that's what we're going to move into next. Steve, would you mind moving to the next slide for me? Thank you so much. So, ambassadors, if you're able to, we'd love for you to be able to turn your cameras on. I'm going to start with us doing introductions, if that's okay. So, ambassadors, I'm going to ask that you share your name, if you'd like to, your pronouns, hometown, year, what you're studying, and then any additional information that could be helpful for our attendees to hear today. So, maybe that's a study abroad experience you've had. Maybe that's a job you hold on campus, a club you've been a part of. Maybe you're a part of our honors program. Just anything additional you think might be helpful context for our attendees today. Let's go ahead and go in alphabetical order. Bodhi, would you mind starting us off?
I'd love to start us off. So, camera's not working for some reason. That's tough. But hello, friends, future Zags, maybe. My name is Bodhi. I am from New Orleans. I'm a senior here at Gonzaga. I'm a special education major, and some things I am involved in or have been involved in. I was an RA for 2 years. I'm a campus ambassador, and I was a cheerleader for 3 years here at Gonzaga. And yeah, that's all I can think of right now. But just very involved with student life, and that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Bodhi. Let's go ahead and move to Claire. And I see Claire and Madeline, it looks like you're sharing a Zoom today. That's great.
Hi, my name is Claire. I'm a sophomore from Newberg, Oregon, which is a suburb about 40 minutes outside of Portland. I'm a nursing major in the honors program, and I'm also minoring in film studies. A few things that I'm involved with here on campus are our student culinary council, so I get to help work with our dining team here on campus and provide student feedback. As well as being an ambassador.
Wonderful. Thank you. Jocelyn, you mind going next?
Hi, y'all. My name is Jocelyn. I am a senior from Seattle, Washington. I am a double major in criminology and sociology with double minors in political science and critical race and ethnic studies. On campus, I am obviously an ambassador. I am the ambassador community engagement and outreach coordinator. I am the president of a women's professional development organization. And I am also involved within the student research here at Gonzaga, and I've served as a teaching assistant. And I think that's all for right now.
Thank you so much. Madeline or Madeline, forgive me if I mispronounced.
You're good. It's Madeline. Hi, I'm Madeline. I am a sophomore biology major with a concentration in physiology. I'm from Sacramento, California. Outside of ambassadors, I am in the Health Sciences Club. I do some volunteering at the Sacred Heart Children's Hospital. I've just started some research this semester, and I've been involved a few times with the theater and dance programs here at Gonzaga.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. And last but certainly not least, Sean, would you mind introducing yourself?
Of course. Hey everyone, my name is Sean. Apologies, I found out I had a sinus infection this morning, kind of a random tidbit. So I'm not sick, I'm just a little stuffed up. Yeah, I'm a junior. I'm a sociology major from Seattle. I'm involved in a couple things across campus. I am on IZAG Radio, which is our website news radio on campus. I'm an ambassador. I work with our Center for Community Engagement at the local elementary school. And I work at our Foley Library, which is amazing. And yeah, it's about me.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, ambassadors. Sean, I'm so sorry to hear about your sinus infection. So Steve, you're welcome to take down the presentation while we move into the student panel portion. Ambassadors, my apologies that you're not able to turn on your camera, but we can feel your spirit for the ZAG community shine through, I promise. So students and families, as you have questions, please put them into the Q&A function. I'm going to be reading aloud questions to our ambassadors today. And my team here is also going to be answering questions that might be better answered by staff members. So that's going to be the function for the next 20 minutes or so, but we're here to answer questions. Our ambassadors are phenomenal. So I'm going to start with our first question. So Ambies, any of you who'd like to respond to this, please speak up. But wanting to hear more about how first year residence halls are set up physically, what kind of programming perhaps you could expect during that first year of housing. Would love to hear your experience on that.
All right, I guess I can go first on this one. So yeah, so I was an RA for 2 years for freshman dorm, so I was luckily pretty familiar with what the freshman living situation was like. I would say the freshman living situation is just very social because a lot of the way the dorms are set up is just meant to be social because they got a lot of common areas. We got a lot of pool tables, ping pong tables, that always sort of typical good, college sort of stuff. But I think one thing that makes Gonzaga unique is that RAs, we put on programs once a month that are just events once a month. And the purpose of that is just to engage students in the halls and just make sure they have some sort of social outlook to look forward to. Of course, they're not required, but they're usually fun just because you get to interact with other residents in the hall or even from other dorms that you wouldn't get to interact with otherwise. And so just by the way that the buildings are naturally set up and just the programming that RAs and housing and residence life does really helps build that social community up.
Awesome. And it sounds like not anything else to add. I can move to the next question. Sounds good. And I will also just say to whoever asked that housing question, you can see all of our housing options, including a virtual tour and often a lot of floor plans at gonzaga.edu/housing. One of my colleagues can drop that link in the chat for you. That could be an excellent resource as you're looking at the physical space a bit too. Wonderful. Oh, Sean, please add on.
Yeah, so sorry. I think one thing I would say is um I'm interested in how like a built environment interior like affects social behavior. It's kind of what I study a little bit. And I think what Gonzaga perfects is the ability to build community spaces. So especially within Hemmingson, there's Hemden. And in housing, it's the same story of how there's RAs and peer mentors and community assistants all living within like as resources. In one of the halls, there's a priest, and so there's different people um, built into the living experience for a community to be built and fostered by people who care. And I think that was just something that I experienced as a first and second year that I want to push on.
Thanks so much, Sean. So we have a question that says, can you please provide more information about bridge and overnight visits? I'll just point out with overnight visits, if you're hoping to visit campus and get an overnight experience, you can reach out to our visit office and their email is simply visit@gonzaga.edu. We do offer some overnight visits throughout the week during the semester, so please feel free to reach out for that. But ambassadors, have any of you had the chance to be a part of Bridge or have had friends who've been a part of Bridge? Any experiences that you can speak to?
I can if no one else.
Why don't
All
you
right.
start us off, Sean? Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So I was in the pre-orientation for honors, which overlapped with Bridge. Um, and I also met a few of my best friends within Bridge. Uh, the Bridge program, as I understand it, is mainly mentorship and community based. Those two are the core pillars of what the Bridge program does, and it serves to welcome students who might be slightly more uncomfortable on a college campus to the campus and provide them specific resources. Um, and oh, let's see. Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yay. Thank you to Sarah for getting this tech figured out. We're excited to see our ambassadors' faces. Sean, feel free to
Yeah.
continue.
Last thing is one of my friends is native from the Assiniboine tribe, native from Montana, and she recently made like the Native American Student Union. And the only way that she was able to was because of the connection she made in Bridge, and then how Bridge connected her to UMEC, and how UMEC as a community allowed like the Native American Student Union to prosper. So I highly recommend Bridge. I've heard nothing but the best about Bridge and the community that it builds before coming on campus. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the next question then. And this is going to be more specifically for Claire. Claire, as a nursing major, how difficult is it to have a minor? Do you feel like you have time for other activities besides just nursing coursework? We'd love to hear your experience on that.
Yeah, I think something that Gonzaga does that's really, really excellent is just having a really like robust support network for all students. Like with nursing in particular, I mean, with all majors, you are required to meet with your advisor before you can register for your classes. So you really are able to develop a strong sense of what your plan's going to look like throughout your 4 years here, or for the nursing program, sometimes that's 4.5 years, since about half nursing students are going to be in an 8 semester track, and then the other half are going to be on a 9 semester track. The 9 semester track tends to be more common for students who want to study abroad for an entire semester or add on a minor. I'm personally on the 8 semester track, but I'm able to add in a minor just because I happened to come in with enough credits that I have some lenience in my schedule. But it's absolutely possible to make it happen. I have friends minoring in things that happen to be really, really relevant to nursing, like health equity, as well as friends minoring in like dance. So there's totally a range, and it's really, really easy as long as you're collaborating with your advisor and checking in frequently to make that work.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Sean, I think this next couple questions is going to be geared towards your experience in the honors program, if that's okay. We got two related questions. So one is just, what is the honors program? Besides just more difficult classes, what can you kind of expect from that experience? And then I think this is pretty related to this. How do you have a social life in the honors program? Does it mean you're just hanging out with honors students? Do you find it's pretty easy to connect with students outside of the honors program? And ambassadors, if there's more than just Sean and the honors program, please feel free to speak up.
I am pretty sure both Claire and Madeline are in the honors program, just the grade below me. And did you both also live in Dillon freshman year? No. Okay, so this is a little bit different. Okay, so I lived in the honors living learning community freshman year, which has our own like 2 floors in a residence hall called Dillon. And Claire and Madeline did not. So I'll tell you my experience with that and they can tell you theirs. Um, so I lived in with 5 guys in a suite style apartment and on a floor with about 6 apartments of 6 people. So I met a really strong honors community, especially through the pre-orientation program as well. Um, and so the social life at first kind of revolves around like, okay, your people, which are your honors people you live with, or yeah, in my experience. And then as you go through Gonzaga, like I said, community building is what Gonzaga thrives in. And so you get a part of so many different communities that eventually your spread of Gonzaga and people you know is just so large that like your social network can't be just one group. So I'd say it would be impossible to only hang out with honors people because that makes up like 80 people out of a 1,000 person, school. And so that part's really easy. And then as for a social life, what I appreciate about the Gonzaga Honors Program is yes, they love academic rigor, but it's more about how to express more complex thought towards something. And so even the first semester honors class, we would be engaged in Spokane as a town. So instead of having like super rigorous, like 20-page essays, we actually had assignments where we had to reflect on a walk we took around a specific neighborhood or a bus ride we took into downtown. So that's what I appreciate about the honors program is it's a little more dynamic in that sense. And I'm going to pass it off to Madeline and Claire.
Okay. Yeah, so both Claire and I are in the honors program. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But we both did not live in Dillon our last year of our first year here. And speaking from my experience, it wasn't necessarily a problem bonding with the honors people. And I think it was also fun to be able to meet a lot of people who weren't in the honors program. So I, like Sean was saying, kind of built that community early on where it's spanning multiple groups at Gonzaga. So that was super cool. And then just kind of to speak to what the honors program is, it's a cohort of about 90 students per year. And I think of it kind of as an addition to the core curriculum here. So there's an honors core in addition to the university core, but most of it overlaps. So for example, there might be a philosophy requirement, but in both, but you can take the same class and it counts for both. So there's not too much, I would say, in addition to the university core that goes with the honors program. But what makes it unique is the interdisciplinary approach that most of the classes take. For example, Claire and I are both in a class right now about climate change, and they're looking at it from a climate science perspective and a political science perspective. So it's been really cool to learn about this pressing issue from multiple sides and hear it from different professors and kind of think about it in more than just a one-dimensional way. So I think that's a really cool perk of the honors program and what makes it a little bit different from the rest of the core curriculum here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I too lived in a more like communal style residence hall. I lived in Catherine Monica Hall last year, which definitely is known for being like one of the more social dorms. And so we definitely I kind of felt at first like I had sort of different spheres there with like honors happening over here and then like my kind of home life happening over there. But as Sean mentioned, and as Madeline's reiterated, like all the circles here tend to overlap where sometimes it just is I meet a friend of a friend of a friend and it comes full circle and I'm like, oh, I sat next to you in honors communications last semester. And so I think that that's one of the really amazing things here. Having honors pre-orientation is a really great way to just get like acclimated to the program and foster those relationships with your cohort, as well as taking a couple honors specific classes for a semester. And something that I've appreciated is that it's just even as you progress throughout like the university core and your major, all those programs, I feel like every semester I get to come back to 1 or 2 honors classes. And that's just such a nice thread to have the same people in the same classes that I've begun to like share my learning habits and like just learning in general with. So that's been a really, really cool experience.
Awesome. Thank you. Jocelyn, I got a private message specifically asking a question for you. And is it like just you have a double major and a double minor? Is that difficult? It looks difficult on paper. So love to hear more about how you manage all four of those
Absolutely.
programs.
Absolutely. So, yeah, just reiterating what Lindsay said, I am a double major and a double minor. My double major is in criminology and sociology, and then my double minor is in critical race and ethnic studies and political science. Fun fact, Steve Keller loves to bring this up all the time. That actually is a lot less than it used to be. I was, in fact, a triple major up until a couple months ago. Um, but it is super, super reasonable, at least for me. I am also a person who loves being in the classroom, so much so that after Gonzaga, I'm going off and getting a PhD. So I love school. So, I mean, that is taking about 18 credit averages, but also the nice thing about my um like my majors and minors is there is a lot of consistent overlap. Within my criminology core and my sociology core, I have to take statistics for social science for both of those. So there's one class that overlaps right away. And then there's some electives that will also overlap as well, such as like subcultures will overlap for criminology and sociology as well, kind of killing two birds with one stone there. And then also with political science and critical race and ethnic studies, there was a little bit of overlap within those disciplines as well. So it does look incredibly impressive on paper, and it is inherently impressive, and I will give myself that pat on the back. It is also incredibly interdisciplinary, and I also love school. So if you're content taking 18 credits, I took 3 summer semesters as well. And I also did come to Gonzaga with over 20 credits. So if you're just a person who loves being in the classroom, it's definitely applicable. Um, but yeah, I also am very type A. My calendar, if someone wants to look at it, is managed to the quarter. And so it does require a lot of planning and timeliness, but it's definitely very much applicable if it's something you're looking to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. We've gotten a couple questions regarding housing in the chat. So I'm going to combine them since they're related. But one is just, are RAs typically juniors and seniors? Are sophomores doing it as well? And then just additionally, like, what are the advantages versus disadvantages of living in an LLC versus not? So, if you could speak to that, I know Sean has mentioned living in the Honors LLC specifically. I know Bodie's mentioned being an RA. So, if you could speak to those experiences, that would be great.
All right, I'll tap into the RA experience a little bit. So yes, the RA position is open to anybody sophomore through senior. So unless you're a freshman, you can't do it. But other than that, you totally can. Or even if you're a graduate student, that's something that you can pursue. And yeah, I would say sorry, can you repeat the question? I completely forgot what it was already.
No worries, no worries. The first question was, are RAs just juniors and seniors? Are they mostly juniors and seniors and some sophomores? What's kind of the year demographic? And then what's the benefits to living in an LLC versus not?
Yes. All right. So yeah, RA sophomore to senior. I would say it's definitely more sophomores and juniors if I had to say the majority, because I'm a senior this year not doing it, and I was a RA my sophomore and junior year from personal experience. And I'll say the advantages of living in an LLC is that you're really just in a group of people that share similar interests that you do. So, for example, Sean being in honors, or popularly one we have is outdoor pursuits in Marion. And so you're just basically surrounded by people that have the same interests or same interests that you do, which of course can be really cool and socially easy when adjusting to college. For me, there's not really any disadvantages. There might be a couple of requirements that the LLC has, but other than that, it's not really supposed to be any different than quote unquote regular or non LLC student life. So it's not like you'll be socially absent away from students who are not part of an LLC or part of a different LLC. You'll still be able to be developed in the whole Gonzaga community, regardless if you're an LLC or not. So there's not a whole lot of differences between living in an LLC and not living in an LLC, which I would say makes it nice.
I can touch a little bit about on not living in an LLC and finding your people. I personally lived in Madonna my first year and did not obviously live in an LLC as Madonna is a non-LLC hall. Um, I lived in Madonna and I was honestly very scared about this because of the whole LLC thing. Some of my friends from high school were all in LLCs and like their LLCs were all hanging out like that first night already. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I socially behind? But the next morning, I was loading another round of like stuff from home up into my third floor Madonna room and I was bringing up my snowboard. Um, and one of the girls who happened to live next to me screamed from across the hall, "Oh my goodness, someone else likes snow sports." Um, a lot of the girls happened to be from California on our floor, and we were just from two places that like have a colder climate, and we instantly bonded. Her and I were talking all about how we were gonna go to Schweitzer, like first day the mountain opened, which we did end up doing. So it's just very small things like that, and I think the move-in process is an exceptional time to meet people. You'll see people like some of my friends met very similarly because my friend Max was bringing in his guitar and a couple people down a couple rooms over were bringing in their bass. So it's definitely not you will not be socially inept should you not choose to be in an LLC. Also a lot of first year students have like an open door policy. So like the first couple days while you're moving in, just leave your door open, knock knock knock. Oh my gosh, hey, I live right next to you. Can I please borrow a screwdriver? And things like that. So you definitely do not have a social disadvantage to being an LLC. The bonus perk is obviously getting that guaranteed living surrounded by kind of like-minded and like-interested people.
Thanks, team. That's great. Okay, we are going to do a few quick rapid fire questions if that works for you guys. Hey, Bodhi, I have a quick question for you, which is what are you making for dinner? The people are wondering.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. I am boiling some corn on the cob, and I have a sweet potato, and I want to stuff it with whatever else I find in my fridge.
Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what we needed.
My functions are necessary in this world.
My next question, and maybe just one of you could take it because we're gonna end on a question that I would love for all of you to answer, if that's okay. And the question is just, what is the teaching style at Gonzaga? Is it going to be mostly note taking and tests, or is it going to be mostly hands-on learning, collaboration? Perhaps one of you can tackle that question.
Please, y'all, I would love to take this one.
Go
Just
ahead.
Oh, sorry, Bodhi. Just because um I'm in a class right now called Christian Muslim Relations, so I can talk about the core system having a like you have to have a Christian Catholic religion and a world religion, and this is my world religion where I'm comparing Christianity and Islam in the West and the East. And my teacher builds in field trips for it. So we went to an Eastern Orthodox church, a Roman Catholic church, and then this past week we went to the Spokane Islamic Center and met with an imam. And so like that class is very much like hands-on learning. You read for Monday, activity Wednesday, quiz Friday. Another class I have is there are like 4 projects throughout the year and you kind of just like flow through them. And so your classes are planning like research and planning different surveys and such as that. So it like really depends, but in my experience in the humanities, in sociology, communications, and religious studies specifically, it's been very much like hands-on, learn from experiencing, but have context and background going into class from reading.
Thank you so much, Sean. And I will just maybe add to that that I think our ambassadors would say as well, the benefit of small class sizes is you have way more space for discussion and questions, right? So a lot of space for collaboration, chatting with peers, working with your faculty one-on-one. And then our final question of the day, and families and attendees, please know you can always email us at admissions with any further questions. But I love this person who asked, why did you choose Gonzaga? So maybe like all of you, maybe try to keep it to like 3 to 4 sentences, like a short paragraph. But why Gonzaga? I saw Jocelyn. Jocelyn had deep excitement in her eyes. So I'm going to pass it. And then Jocelyn, will you pass it to someone else? That person passes it to the next.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay. If you are ever lucky enough to go on a Jocelyn tour, I actually refute this question by saying it's an inherently bad question to be asking. Because I think the better question you should be asking students is why they choose to stay. So why I chose to come, if I'm being fully transparent, the financial aid package that I got offered from Gonzaga was absolutely amazing. And so I chose to come to Gonzaga financially because I knew that I would want to pursue higher ed after my undergraduate degree. I choose to stay because I absolutely, no matter how cliche this sounds, I love the people here more than anything in this world. I love my job as an ambassador because I get to work with, like some of the people you see here, I get to work with the most amazing people ever. And I get to build so many connections that I wouldn't have otherwise like come across. I've became very good friends with people who are like nursing students and like getting to see the overlap in like the sociological work that I do and then tying it into nursing. So I choose to stay because the people in here challenge you in such a emotional and intellectual way to grow as a human. And I think it's truly, truly magnificent and beautiful. Sean, do you want to go next?
Sure. Um, my older sister went here. She's 7 years older than me. And when she was around my age, I was like ninth grade, eighth grade, ninth grade. And I came and visited that early. And I don't remember much from it, but I remember experiencing honestly the same exact thing that happened when I came here, which was everyone talking to me, everyone wanting to know who I am. And it was literally, it's just impossible to go unknown here. Like on my tours, I try to incorporate my friends into them asking their favorite part about Gonzaga. Every single person says community. Like without a like on clockwork, it's community. And then the next thing she always says, this one person I run into is, I can't get from this one building to Hemmingson, the main building, in under 15 minutes because I'm gonna run into so many people. See, they're literally laughing because they know it's true. It is impossible to get anywhere on campus. You have to leave 35 minutes early to go anywhere. It's like the worst thing about Gonzaga, but it's because it's the best thing. Like you can't get anywhere because you're running into every single person and all you want to do is catch up with them. So that's why I stayed, as Jocelyn would say.
Awesome. Why don't we pass to Bodhi if that's okay? Yeah, all good.
All right, yes. So the reason I came to Gonzaga all the way from New Orleans was a combination of a great special ed program and it being great community, so cliche I know, and a great financial aid offer. And the reason I'm deciding to stay is because of I'll go different answer than community because that would definitely be my answer, but don't steal the thunder from anybody else is I would just say the quality of the academics because I feel like we mentioned the small class sizes. I feel like I'm getting a very intimate learning environment. I feel like I'm getting great hands-on experiences. An example of a hands-on experience I had was within the first 6 weeks of my freshman year, I was already in a special education elementary school classroom. So I was just able to apply the principles I was learning in class right away. And so just having those quality experiences that were both inside the classroom from lectures and presenting from great professors to going out to the field and actually being able to apply those for all 4 years was something that I really took great value in and is a reason that I really have valued my time here at Gonzaga. And I'll pass it to Madeline / Claire. Y'all eeny miny mo it.
Okay, so I kind of feel like I've been a Zag for my entire life because my parents actually met as Gonzaga students. So there's actually, I found like last week, my dad sent me a photo from when I was literally in the hospital. Like I'm in like the little glass like baby tray, and in the background, like it's my dad, the baby tray, and Gonzaga basketball on the TV in the background. So literally since the day I was born, been a Zag. And growing up, I have a lot of family in this area, so we would take trips up here in the summer and like hang out, walk around campus, that sort of thing. So in the back of my mind, like Gonzaga was always kind of just like another home for me. But that honestly kind of was like a deterrent for me during the college process. I was like, I don't want to have the same experience that my parents had. I'm gonna like forge my own path. I'm gonna do my own thing, break the mold, whatever. But truly, there was nowhere that I felt like I would be able to break the mold, ironically enough, like being back at Gonzaga. I just think the experience here is so malleable. It's so unique to every individual that like there's just no one here that has the same path. Like my parents 30 years ago, me today, Madeline next to me, everyone else on this panel has all had such unique and rich experiences, just from the volunteer opportunities to the on-campus resources to the classes you can take and triple majoring or being a nursing major with a minor in film. Like all these crazy combinations just make everyone at Gonzaga so passionate and so interesting, and it just makes it the most stimulating and rewarding community. So yeah, I guess that was a lot, but that's why I love it here and that's why I'm happy to stay here.
Yeah, and for me, I was sold on my campus tour. I loved the size of the campus. I think it's a beautiful campus, might be biased, but I was also really impressed with the fact that the tour guide knew almost everyone she passed. So many people said hi to her, and I knew that was definitely a community I wanted to be a part of. And I would say also a reason for coming here and staying here was the relationships with the professors. I think they're unmatched. I'm a bio major, so it's really helpful to know my professors and be able to talk to them about hard things and even about things like life. Like I was talking to my biology professor about her dog the other day, and I feel really cared for by the professors and known. Claire and my professor knew our names like the second day of class this semester, so they're very clearly here to support us and want us to succeed in whatever we do. And I feel that from both the professors and the students, and that's a huge reason for why I am here and stay here.
Awesome. Okay, well, I just want to give a huge shout out to our student ambassadors here. They are so phenomenal, and I appreciate you sharing your experience with us. Thank you. Thank you.